Shalom. All praises, all power, all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Kahakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who teach one rule well, who taught me this truth. Peace and salutation to the Akyam, the fellow laborers, the hopeful elect, pushing this truth of risk on lives through the four corners of the earth. And to the Akwath, listening, learning, sincerity, and the truth and the silence, Shalom. This is your brother Shema from the GMS Toronto camp, here in Toronto, here with another lesson. Right, we'll get right into it. It says here, John Deere announces hundreds of layoffs. Legacy tractor maker John Deere has announced layoffs at 3 Midwestern facilities as the company grapples with declining sales and the effects of tariffs on its bottom line. Right, this place is a house of cards, man. Right, and we're gonna continue to see breaking news of more and more large corporations struggling and eventually going belly up, right, under the inability to be profitable. Habakkuk 2:13. Behold, is it not of the Lord Yahweh of hosts that the people shall labor in the very fire, and the people shall weary themselves for very vanity? Right, it's all vanity, right? And people are getting a harsh reality check, a wake up that they've labored and it's in vain. NLT, has not the Lord of heaven's armies promised that the wealth of nations will turn to ashes? They work so hard, but all in vain, right? And this house of cards is through, man, right? This house of cards is going to continue to burn.
A 200% tax. Companies moving jobs to Mexico. Welcome to your ultimate pit stop, Piston Pundit. In a dramatic turn, John Deere, the iconic American brand of 185 years, is slamming the brakes on U.S. production. The company's moving jobs to Mexico, cutting costs amid declining sales and rising expenses. This shift has fired up political drama, with U.S. President Trump threatening punishing tariffs to keep jobs on home turf. As America's agricultural backbone braces for the fallout, we'll unpack the facts, the impacts, and what it all means for the future of American-made machinery. Buckle up. Let's get into it. The shifting gears of an American icon. For more than 185 years, John Deere has been a symbol of American farming might, but the brand now faces severe challenges. In July 2024, Deere announced the closure of several U.S. plants, leading to 600 job losses in Iowa, Illinois, and other states. The cuts didn't stop there.
Right, and this is the Lord's doing, right? In the opening there, it said, over 185 years, John Deere has been a symbol of American icon might. Okay, and this is all the doing of the Lord. Let's get that scripture. The Lord is visiting this place. The Lord, listen, the Lord is tanking America. Psalms 73, Psalm 75, Psalm 75 and 5. Lift not up your horn on high, speak not with a stiff neck, right? Lift not your horn, you Edomites, right? Your horn on high, your power, your pride, you're on high, man. Esau Edom is proud, right? And I know if you look into the founder of John Deere, right? Let's look into that. He was either Amalekite or Edomite, right? I know this for a fact. Deere and Company began when John Deere, born in Rutland, Vermont, United States, on February 7, 1804, moved to Grand Detour, Illinois in 1836 to escape bankruptcy in Vermont. Already an established blacksmith, right? And look, he was fleeing bankruptcy. But yeah, guarantee. Look, yeah, you see, Edomite. All right, right. The founder of John Deere, right? So back in the scripture, Psalm 75:5. Lift up not your horn on high, speak not with a stiff neck, right? Self pride, you Edomites, right? The Lord's saying, lift not up your. Don't be saying it's of me, right? For promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south. Right? The Lord, right? If you're an Israelite, you rise in the ranks of success, whatever it is you're doing, the Lord sanctioned that. Right? If you were Edomite, and the Lord's not dealing with these Edomites, these other nations, right? Right? But the Lord is the one who allows you to make your moves. Verse 7, but Yahweh is the judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another, right? All nations, all rulerships, kingdoms, empires. The Lord puts down one and sets up another, right? And who's in rulership right now? The basis of men, right? Daniel 4:17. And who's the basis of men? The Edomite, right? This is their kingdom, right? So the Lord is starting to visit Edomite pride.
Deere shed another 287 jobs, underscoring the relentless financial and strategic pressures bearing down on the company. Behind this retrenchment is a troubling earnings report. Deere's sales plunged 18% in the second quarter, with forecasts predicting deeper declines. High interest rates and slumping crop prices have farmers holding off on equipment purchases, leaving Deere's warehouses brimming and forcing production cuts. To stay afloat, the company is shifting production of small loaders to Mexico by 2026. This pivot has triggered fierce political backlash, with U.S. President Trump threatening a 200% tariff to keep Deere's green and yellow machines rolling in the U.S. But Deere's troubles don't end with plant closures. The ripple effects extend deep into the trade and tariff battlegrounds. Tariffs and the price of progress. The trade landscape is only getting thornier for Deere. Already, tariffs have cost the company $100 million this quarter alone, with a projected $500 million hit looming in 2025. The construction and forestry sectors, heavily tied to global markets, are especially feeling the burn. To soften the blow, Deere is seeking tariff relief under the U.S.-Mexico-Canada Agreement, USMCA, and tweaking its global production footprint.
Tariff relief. Bomb for pain. Let's get that. Jeremiah 51:7. And it reads, Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord Yahweh's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad, right? The whole world is drunken of the cup, the wine of Babylon, the wine being her philosophy. All nations worldwide have taken on the philosophies of America the Great, Babylon the Great. That's why you see Western Asia countries, what the world calls the Middle East. You see their women throwing their hijabs in the streets, right? They're drinking of that Babylonian cup, that wine. Verse 8, here's the point. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain, right? The balm being stimulus, right? Seeking tariff relief, bank bailouts. If so be, she may be healed, right? If so be, she may be healed. No amount of tariff relief, fleeing tariffs, bank bailouts, stimulus checks, none of that's going to none of that is going to help Babylon the Great, America the Great.
Of next year's orders are already locked in, but brace for 2% to 4% price hikes on 2026 equipment, another hurdle for cash-strapped farmers. Behind the scenes, Deere's lawyers and engineers are working overtime, renegotiating supply contracts and hunting for new efficiencies. But with tariffs rewriting the rules of global trade overnight, Deere's future is anything but certain. Let's keep rolling and see how this crisis is hitting home for communities across the country. The human toll, communities in peril. The restructuring's human impact cuts deeper than any quarterly report. Since March 2024, over 1,800 Iowans have lost their jobs to Deere's shifting gears. In 2025 alone, 287 workers have been let go, 119 from Ankeny, 75 from Ottawa, echoing through families and main streets alike. These layoffs aren't just economic. There's a moral reckoning too. Iowa lawmakers have introduced a bill demanding that companies slashing jobs return some of the state tax credits they've pocketed. Deere counters that the layoffs are purely driven by
hold on, what this guy just say here? Let's hear that again.
Market realities, not a betrayal of public trust. Or over 1,800 Iowans have lost their jobs to Deere's shifting gears. In 2025 alone, 287 workers have been let go, 119 from Ankeny, 75 from Ottawa, echoing through families and main streets alike. These layoffs aren't just economic. There's a moral reckoning too. Iowa lawmakers have introduced a bill demanding that companies slashing jobs return some of the state tax credits they've pocketed. Deere counter.
Yeah. Okay. So you're seeing the state of Iowa is demanding they return some of the taxes they've taken off of employees' wages. Right. Listen, Esau is a crook, man. He is a crook. Let's get that scripture in it's in the Apocrypha. No. How's it go again? In the Apocrypha. And if I look at my sword, Slovakia. Okay, I found it. I have to look at my sword. It's a rock. 34. In your sword with me, in your sword, you know where scriptures are. You know where it is on the page of the scriptures. It's hard to explain. Sirach 34 and 21, and it reads, the bread of the needy is their life, right? Your wages, your working wages, that's the bread of the needy is their life. You need that. You need that, man. Us out here in this matrix, you need that shekel. You need those shekels, right? The needy, right? The working class, the poor, right? He that defraudeth him thereof is a man of blood, right? You defraud a man of his wages, you cut a little off the top. Says here, you are a man of blood. And that's Esau Edom, man. Right? What does it say in and that's been a playbook. James 5. James 5 and 4. Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields. Right? And America the Great, Babylon the Great was founded on blood, lies, robbery, deceit, cargo slavery, right? Which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. Right? You built America the Great was built on blood, slave labor, man. Free, right? The tribes, right? And they cried, right? And their cries have fallen, have gone into the ears of Yahweh B'Shem Yoshai. It says here, Lord of Sabaoth, Lord of armies. Right? So a recompense is coming for you Edomites.
That the layoffs are purely driven by market realities, not a betrayal of public trust. Yet for the families grappling with lost income and an uncertain future, that argument can ring hollow. Local economies built around the steady beat of Deere's factories are staggering, with shuttered storefronts and dwindling optimism. In towns that wear the Deere logo with pride, the layoffs sting like a blow to the soul. But the challenges extend beyond the factory gates, out into the fields where farmers are making tough decisions every day.
Yeah, that's it on that. We get the point. But the people, no work for Egypt, man. The people, listen, a lot of lives are going to be affected, right? And more and more corporations are going to fall, are going to have the same demise as what we see happening with John Deere. 2nd Ezra 5, right? And the people who believed, 2nd Ezra 5, who believed in this American dream, right? They're left holding the bag in a position of limbo, not knowing what's going to happen, right? How are we going to eat? How are we going to live? How are we going to clothe ourselves? 2nd Ezra 5:12, and it reads, at the same time shall men hope, but nothing obtain. They shall labor, but their ways shall not prosper, right? We are in the midst, listen, we are seeing a controlled demolition, a free fall of America the Great, Babylon the Great. I want to see what this says in the Good News Translation. 2nd Ezra 5:12. 2nd Ezra 5:12, Good News Translation. At that time will hope, Salakia, at that time people will hope for much, but will get nothing. They will work hard, but will never succeed at anything. All right, and we're about to see what we're seeing is controlled demolition, a continued free fall of America the Great, Babylon the Great. So with that, call Allah Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai B'Shem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone who teach well and rule well. Shalom to the elect.